Hey everyone, I hope you're well. This is the story about what if Naruto was kidnapped and became a Kumo Shinobi. Before we start, please subscribe to the channel and like the video as well. So without any further ado, let's start the what if. It was a beautiful night in the forests of Fire Country. The pale moonlight illuminated the darkness and gave the area a serene air about it. A serene air that was destroyed when the sound of a tree crashing to the ground rang through the forest and scared the wildlife half to death. Damn it! A tall muscular man with dark skin and blonde hair screamed as he punched another tree, sending it crashing to the ground. Another dark-skinned man watched from a few feet away, lazily leaning against another tree. We almost went to war, and for what? A goddamn corpse with nothing of value. I told you that you need to stop playing the villain. You need to be more like me and start with the chillin'. Damn it, B, I'm not in the mood for your ridiculous rhyming. You saw it, didn't you? The old man's eyes weren't the eyes of a shinobi past his prime. They had fire in them. The same fire that the fourth had. As the man recalled the events that transpired earlier that night, he broke out in a cold sweat. Are you actually afraid? The only time I've seen you sweat like that is when you're with a dame. B, do you have any idea who the other people in the room were when we received the body of our ambassador's murderer? I've never been one to tell lies. I was checking out the female in the corner with the tattoos under her eyes. That was the head of the Inuzuka clan. The head of every single clan in the Leaf Village minus the Hyuga was in that room with us. They weren't the only ones. The man with the mask who stood next to the Hokage is Kakashi of the Sharingan. Even though he isn't an Uchiha, he's said to be even more proficient in it than some pure-blooded members of the clan. He's also the last living student of the fourth Hokage. If the three legendary Sannin weren't off doing whatever it is they're doing in the world, we probably would have seen them there too. What are you getting at? You defeat ninja of their caliber at the drop of a hat. One-on-one, I have no doubts that I could beat every single person in that room. 2 or 3 of them at the same time. Even that wouldn't be enough to stop me. 4 or more. That starts to be more of an obstacle. All of them at the same time. No one short of my father could handle odds like that. I've done everything I can to be just like him, even pursuing rare bloodlines just as he did. But what use is power if you find yourself with enemies around every corner? My father was invincible and even he couldn't fight forever. If we had gone to war with the Leaf Village over this, then every single minor village we antagonized over the years would rush to their aid. Soon after that, the other great villages would probably join them as well. It would be us against the world and the world would win. Even with 2 perfect Jinchuriki on our side, we would be overwhelmed by the combined power of the other villages. You're letting your ego take a big hit. It wasn't your idea to start this shit. It may not have been my idea to try and steal the Byakugan, but I honestly can't say that I wouldn't have tried if I hadn't been busy judging the Chunin exams. Though I can tell you with certainty that if I had, it wouldn't have been such a disgusting plan. Kidnapping a little girl on her birthday. Disgraceful. They should have tried to bribe a disgruntled branch member or something. I've made a decision. No more of this antagonistic behavior toward the other villages. We were lucky that this whole situation didn't blow up in our face. Perhaps we can smooth over our relationships with the other villages in time. Dibs on smoothing over relations with the Mist Village. Why? If our intel is right, then the next Mizukage is most likely going to be a woman named Mei Terumi. She's supposed to be a smoking hot bombshell with real nice boobies. No. But bro. No. Now let's head home before I put you in the iron claw and drag you there. The 2 men went on their way, blissfully unaware that they were about to have a chance encounter that would change their lives. Not far from their current location was a cave that led down into an expansive underground tunnel system. In the depths of these tunnels was a laboratory where an experiment was currently being performed. A young blonde boy with whisker marks on his face was strapped to a table, unconscious and unaware of his current situation. Standing over him was a pale man with evil eyes and a despicable smile. "Let's begin," the pale man ordered. He laid down on another table next to the boy, and a young red-haired girl stood in between the tables. "Remember, keep the boy's consciousness away from the nine-tailed fox while I'm negotiating with it. I know my damn role, so shut your damn mouth, Orochimaru." The young redhead took one of Orochimaru's hands in hers and did the same for the young boy. The older man fell into a deep sleep the same as the boy. "Success," Orochimaru noted as he stared into the eyes of one of the most powerful creatures in the world. "You. I know you," the beast said from behind its cage. "I see my reputation precedes me." Orochimaru bowed respectfully. "You are Orochimaru of the Sannin, once comrade to Jiraiya and Tsunade, and the jailer of my jailer. I beg you not to take it personally, Great Fox. It was not my intention to make you a prisoner twofold. My goal is instead to offer you a truce." "A truce? Let me guess, you want me to not interfere when you use your disgusting technique to take over this boy's body, in exchange for you setting me free when you are done with him? You are wise, indeed, Great Fox. When the boy has matured, I wish to become him, and I can only do that if you permit it. In exchange, when the time comes for me to find a new host, I will set you free. Begone from my sight, you filthy creature. That leaves a period of 3 years that I will be forced to share a body with you. I won't be used as a tool for the petty conflicts of man anymore. Least of all one as short-sighted and disgusting as you. You wound me, Great Fox. I only wish to ally myself with you as we have a common enemy. The Leaf Village has kept you imprisoned for generations. Surely you wish for vengeance? An ally, you say? If you truly wish to be my ally, then do one thing for me. Whatever you wish, Great Fox. Say my name." "What? You wish to be my ally, right? The least you can do for an ally is learn his name. Did you even attempt to research my name before you contacted me?" I never came across a name in my research." "Really? Not even in the valley where I was heralded as a god by the local farmers? Did you even know about that? Did you care about what I once was, or only about what I could do for you? Keep your truce. This boy may be weak, but he is a better container than you. He cared enough to ask me my name." Orochimaru was suddenly grabbed by the throat by a tendril of pure chakra. It lifted him off the ground while choking him. "For the record, human, my name is Kurama. If you survive this, then remember it." Elsewhere in the young boy's mind, the young girl from before was keeping the boy's consciousness isolated as ordered. This manifested as a small cage that the boy barely fit in. "How could you do this to your own family?" the young boy questioned through teary eyes. "Just because we share the same name doesn't make us family. A disgrace like you that wasn't even born with red hair doesn't deserve to call yourself an Uzumaki. You don't deserve to call yourself a human being. Whatever, lame ass. Just be a good boy and wait for Orochimaru to be done." "Heya!" A deafening scream of pain rang through the boy's mind, making the red-haired girl jump from the shock. That was Orochimaru. What the fuck happened? The foul-mouthed girl questioned. "I don't know," but the young boy said as his body started glowing red. "It feels good." He yelled triumphantly as he found the strength to break free of the girl's mental bonds. "No fucking way." The girl tried to sever the connection between their minds, but she wasn't fast enough as the boy lunged at her and delivered a devastating punch. "Get out of my head!" the boy yelled as he punched her with all his might. The force was enough to send her back to her own mind and body, and she even flinched as if she had actually been hit in the real world. "Ayah!" Orochimaru screamed as his body burned with an unnatural crimson fire. "Shit!" the girl yelled as she grabbed a nearby fire extinguisher. Before she could use it to put her master out, it was snatched away from her by the now awake young boy, his body now covered in a red aura of pure chakra that gave him the strength to break his bonds. Naruto, wait. The girl's plea fell on deaf ears as Naruto swung the invaluable piece of safety equipment right into her stomach. Now, get out of my life. A sickening crack told Naruto that he broke some of the girl's ribs with his swing. He looked down at her for a second with pity in his eyes. I'm sorry, Tayuya. Naruto threw the now dented fire extinguisher across the room before making a beeline for the door and jumping through it, splintering the wood into a million pieces. Do me a favor and don't try something like that again. Your body can barely handle the paltry amount of chakra I'm pumping into you as it is. If you compound that with idiotic stunts, then I can't guarantee that you'll last long enough to get us out of here. I'm sorry, Kurama. Don't apologize, just dodge to the left now. Naruto quickly did as ordered and dodged a tranquilizer dart that otherwise would have hit him spot on and possibly knocked him out. Run through him. He's not a true threat. Naruto lunged at the guard and knocked him out of the way with a drop kick. His head hit the wall and he was knocked out easily. This base is infested with weaklings. Orochimaru overestimated himself and the allure of his offer. He didn't post extra guards in case we escaped. His arrogance is only matched by the Uchiha bastards. Naruto ignored Kurama's boasting and quickly found the exit. He didn't understand how, but Naruto somehow knew where everyone in the base was and was able to take detours and shortcuts out of the way of any guards aside from the first one. When they reached the exit of the cave, Naruto jumped for joy and threw his fist into the air before landing and continuing to run as fast as he could. Don't celebrate just yet. We have to get to the Leaf Village as soon as possible. I have no idea how long Orochimaru will stay burning. I doubt a man such as him would die from such a simple thing as flames, even if they are powered by me. Hold it. There are 3 super strong guys heading this way. Should we go ask them for help? You're right, we should go talk to them. I have a feeling 2 of them will be willing to help considering who they are. What do you mean, Kurama? You and I aren't the only 2 forced into a relationship like this. I'll explain more when we get to them. As Naruto and Kurama rushed to the side of the mystery trio, Orochimaru finally mustered the power to save himself by shedding his skin like a snake. He stared at the burning mound of what used to be his own flesh as his rage started to bubble up from within him. That goddamn fox made a fool of me. No one makes a fool of me. He screamed as he ran toward the cave exit, hoping to find the boy captured by one of his guards. He would have stopped to kill the guard that Naruto had knocked out during his escape, but he was more preoccupied with finding the boy before he got away. He had no idea how fast the boy could travel with the aid of the fox's chakra, and Naruto had a head start. Lucky for Orochimaru, he found Naruto's tracks quick as the boy made no attempt at hiding them. Orochimaru ran the fastest that he had run in a long time to catch up to the boy. Within minutes, Naruto was closing in on the trio he was chasing. He was close enough that he thought he could yell to them, but he was suddenly grabbed around the waist by a white snake. Another white snake roped itself around his mouth, effectively gagging him. You gave me quite the shock when you burned me, Kurama. I expected you to accept my offer instantly. I didn't think you would have such a strong connection to this boy considering what you did to his parents. No matter. Even if I can't take over the boy's body, I still have uses for one of the last Uzumaki. I noticed that you were able to slip by the majority of my guards undetected. It seems my theory about you inheriting powerful sensory abilities was spot on. Naruto, we're close to help. Try to get the snake out of your mouth so you can yell. Naruto started biting into the snake covering his mouth as Orochimaru unceremoniously started dragging him through the forest by his leg. The snake tried to hold on, but Naruto managed to chew all the way through it very quickly, and he yelled as loud as he could. Help me! He screamed before Orochimaru turned around and stepped on the boy's head. There is no help. Now shut your mouth and come quietly. Not far from the current situation, A and B stopped when they heard a faint voice back in the direction they came. Did you just hear something, B? It wasn't very loud, but whatever it was, I think we should check it out. Orochimaru continued to grind Naruto's tiny head into the ground, but he had to stop and jump out of the way when a bolt of lightning came out of nowhere and almost hit him dead center. "What now?" Orochimaru growled. Into view walked A and B, and Orochimaru's eyes went wide with shock. The Raikage and the Jinchuriki of the Eight Tails? Why in the world are they here? Wait. The situation with the failed kidnapping of the Hyuga heiress. The Raikage must have chosen to come deal with the fallout himself. Damn it, if they realize who Naruto is, they'll take him for themselves. What's going on here? The Raikage questioned. B answered as he flipped through a small book. We've got an S-rank criminal over here. If we take this guy back to the Leaf Village, our relationship with them will be in the clear. S-rank criminal? Orochimaru of the Sannin with a heart ice cold. It says right here that he's worth my weight in gold. What in the world is he rhyming for? Orochimaru thought. This guy is so cool. He says everything in rhyme. Naruto thought. Inside his mind, Kurama slammed his head into the bars of his cage. Is this really your partner, Gyuki? At least mine has the excuse of being a little kid. Suddenly Naruto was set free when B cut the snake that was holding him with a small sword. B offered Naruto his hand, and as soon as the two touched, Naruto understood what Kurama meant earlier. You're just like me. You have an animal friend inside you too. Bro, this kid is a Jinchuriki. B yelled, too surprised to rhyme for once. What? The Raikage yelled in surprise. Orochimaru looked back and forth between the two men. He knew he was no match for the two of them at the same time. One-on-one maybe, but the two men were known as one of the deadliest duos in the world. Orochimaru weighed his options carefully. He could quickly slip away while they were preoccupied with the boy, or he could stay and fight for his prize. Orochimaru was never one for gambling, unlike a certain ex-teammate of his, so he decided to cut his losses and leave. The loss of the boy wasn't devastating anyway. He had other Uzumaki, and the nine-tailed fox wasn't willing to cooperate like he originally thought it would. Orochimaru backed up against a tree, and his body almost melted into it, and he disappeared from sight. What the hell? The Raikage said as he watched Orochimaru disappear. He ran over and destroyed the tree with a mighty punch, but it was in vain. He stayed on guard for a few seconds, but Naruto put him at ease. Don't worry, he's long gone. I can tell. Naruto said happily. You can sense his chakra? I guess so. I've always just been able to tell where people are by concentrating. I can even tell how they feel sometimes. Those are impressive skills, kid. What's your name and how old are you? My name is Naruto Uzumaki, and I'm 7 years old, sir. Uzumaki? B, come here for a second. A motion for his brother to come over, and he did. The two huddled together. He's the Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails, isn't he? Yeah. The last Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails was an Uzumaki too, wasn't she? Yeah. The same girl that my father tried to kidnap from the Leaf Village, right? Yeah. That means this kid is most likely that woman's son, right? Yeah. We may not be able to bring them the criminal Orochimaru, but if we bring them back their Jinchuriki, then it would go a long way to repairing our relationship with the Leaf. Yeah, let's take him home. Maybe afterward, I can find that sexy Inuzuka woman and throw her my bone. No. But bro. No. A and B were surprised when they heard Naruto speak up. What is it, kid? A asked. This guy over here is like me, right? Yep, I'm the container of number 8. I got so much power that all the villains hate. Could you train me? Come again? The Raikage asked. I want you to train me. Kurama says that if I want to be strong, then I should follow you and train to master his power like you did for Gyuki. We aren't from your village, kid. If you come with us, that means you can't go back to your old village anymore. Kurama already explained that to me. Look, I never want someone like that guy to hurt me ever again. Even if it means that I can't see the old man Hokage anymore, or my friend who buys me ramen, I have to become stronger. Please. Naruto dropped to his knees and started crying. A and B were stuck between a rock and a hard place. Listen, kid, our villages aren't on good terms right now. They'll get even madder at us when they find out we took you with us instead of returning you. Please. You're my best chance to become stronger. I'll tell them that it was my idea, just please take me with you. Naruto continued to sob. Eventually the Raikage got tired of it. God damn it, fine. He picked up Naruto and slung him over his shoulder. Don't get comfortable over there, kid. If I have to, I'll ship you back to the Leaf Village in a heartbeat if it means avoiding a war. The war never came. When news reached the Leaf Village that their Jinchuriki was alive and well in the Cloud Village, many of the more militant-minded shinobi demanded that he be returned. The Hokage might have been persuaded by these voices had it not been for the input of one of his students. Did you see the boy? The Hokage asked his student, the legendary Jiraiya of the Sannin, who had just come back from an unexpected and unknown visit to the Cloud Village. Yeah. He started living with the Jinchuriki of the Two Tails. She's a pretty young thing with good maternal instincts. She treats him like her own son. Did you make yourself known to him? No, and sensei. I have no intention of going back for him. What? Explain yourself, Jiraiya. Here he was treated as a pariah for his connection to the nine-tailed fox. In the Cloud Village, the exploits of Killer Bee and Yugito Ni have lessened the negative image the populace has of Jinchuriki, even if only a little. The Cloud Village is honestly the best place for him right now. You would put your godson's needs over the village? Yes, I would, and I know you feel the same way I do, even if you can't admit it. Tell the elders that you ordered me to retrieve the boy and I refused. They won't have the guts to do anything about it. I'm still the greatest spy in the village and they still need me. Very well, Jiraiya. I will defer to your judgment on this matter. What will you do now? I'm going to fix the mistake you made all those years ago. I'm going to find Orochimaru and end him. Unaware of the conversation about him taking place a world away, Naruto was currently trying and failing to perform his first jutsu. The clone jutsu was one of the most basic jutsu in the ninja world. Why then could Naruto not perform it? He was interrupted when a familiar face came, bearing gifts. Yo! Killer Bee yelled from afar, holding a pair of scrolls in each hand. I brought some scrolls that belong to your clan. Use them to make your ninja style a bit less bland. Thanks, Bee Sensei. Naruto grabbed one of the scrolls and opened it. He stared at it intensely for a few seconds before hanging his head in shame. I forgot that I can't read. It's cool, little brother. Reading for you won't be a bother. Bee took the scroll from Naruto and began reading it for him. Shadow Clone Jutsu. Oh yeah. Right there. Naruto mumbled in his sleep. A few feet away, a young dark-skinned boy with white hair, a lollipop in his mouth, and a Cloud Village headband sat on a log and sharpened a katana. Another one of those dreams. The boy thought. Wait. No. Naruto started shifting around in his sleeping bag, obviously terrified of the direction his dream took. Ororoki Naruto was snapped out of his dream when his friend ran over and slapped him awake. Naruto looked around in a panic but calmed down when he noticed the other boy. That sounded like a bad one, Naruto. Thanks, Omoi. It wasn't as bad as they used to be. I'm more annoyed that it interrupted a good dream. I was this awesome martial artist that was trained by gods and had this badass warrior princess wife. Oh, and I could wear orange without people giving me shit for it. That was the best part. Anyway, I was with my badass wife when that guy showed up again. Naruto hung his head low and Omoi put an understanding hand on his shoulder. We're pretty close to where you escaped, aren't we? Yeah. I was lucky that B-sensei and the Raikage were there. If they hadn't been. Sis and Karui are coming back, don't mention my nightmare, I don't want Sis to worry. Omoi went back to sharpening his blade and Naruto started packing up his sleeping bag just as two girls walked into the clearing. One was a dark-skinned girl around Naruto's age with striking red hair. The other was a beautiful blonde in her early 20s. About time you woke up, sleeping beauty. Hey sis. Did you and Karui go fill up on water or something? Yeah, here's your canteen. The older Kunoichi tossed the container to Naruto and he grabbed it, using a little bit of the water to start brushing his teeth. Yugito-sensei, how much longer until we get to the Leaf Village? Omoi asked as he gave his sword a final wipe down and sheathed it. Not much longer. We can get there by this afternoon if we really hustle. Then let's hustle. Naruto exclaimed right as he finished his morning hygiene ritual. Chunin exams, here we come. I can't wait to prove myself against some strong competition. How could Naruto know that at that exact moment some of the strongest genin in the Leaf Village were hoping for the same thing? The Chunin exams start soon. We should be seeing foreigners in the village within the next few days. A teenage boy with pale eyes said, as he meditated under a tree. I know what you're thinking, Niji. Promise me that you'll play nice if any Cloud Village shinobi show up. A cute girl with hair buns said. She nonchalantly tossed a kunai into the tree by his face but received no reaction. Ten is right, my friend. Your grudge against them is valid, but it is important to keep one's emotions in check when undergoing a trial as difficult as the Chunin exams. A boy in a green spandex and huge eyebrows said. Lee, Ten. Your concern is touching, but I am not a man who loses control easily. If any Cloud shinobi do appear, I shall conduct myself as is fitting for a Hyuga. In a nearby training ground, another group of genin were standing around. This group consisted of a girl with the same pale eyes as the boy from earlier, a boy in a gray hoodie with a dog on his head, and an intimidating guy with dark sunglasses on. I wonder what Kurenai-sensei wants to talk to us about. What do you think, Shino? The guy with the dog asked the sunglasses-wearing boy. The Chunin exams are soon. Perhaps she thinks we are worthy of competing. Chunin exams? Are we truly ready for that? Of course, you three are ready. They all turned to see their sensei had just arrived behind them. Kurenai-sensei. All three kids shouted before running up to the woman. So, Shino was right? We're really gonna take the Chunin exams? Yes, Hinata. You all have the chance to take the exams. You have a choice though. If you feel you aren't ready, no one can force you to come. However, just know that I feel all three of you are ready and fully capable of making Chunin. Yahoo! I can't wait to kick some serious tail. Although I don't share Kiba's enthusiasm, I too believe this is an excellent opportunity for us. Why? Because being allowed to take the Chunin exams so soon into one's career is quite rare. The female of the three just stood there silently contemplating what she should do. If I take the Chunin exams, I could get stronger, but what if I fail? Deciding that she wanted some time to herself to think, Hinata excused herself. She retreated to an alley within the village where she promised to meet one of her friends in an hour. Said friend was waiting at another training grounds. This pink-haired girl was pacing around, visibly angry. To her right were 3 training logs that her teammates were sitting next to. They were both dark-haired boys, but one of them was pale as a ghost. The pale one was scribbling in a notebook while the other one just waited patiently. I am so sick of this shit. The pink-haired girl said. The more you think about it, the slower time seems to pass. You should sit back and just relax, Sakura. The artist of the group said. No, Sai. This was supposed to be our day off. I had plans to spend the day with Ino and Hinata, and I'll be damned if Kakashi-sensei makes me late. There are worse things to be late for. Your period, for example. Although, Sasuke refuses to go out with you, so the chances of that are rather low. About 10 seconds later, their Jonin-sensei Kakashi Hatake arrived to find an angry Sakura standing above an unconscious Sai. The lump on Sai's head looks a lot bigger than usual. You've been keeping up with the weight training regiment I put you on, I'm proud of you. The silver-haired, mask-wearing man said, peeking over a small orange book. You? Where were you this whole time? Reading porn again? Sakura, you don't read porn. You read smut. Kakashi had a little laugh while scratching the back of his head, but he only made the young Kunoichi angrier. Not funny. Well, if I say that I recommended you for the Chunin exams, will you forgive me? Back in town, another Genin squad was getting the same good news as they ate in a barbecue restaurant. Troublesome, a pineapple-haired youth mumbled. What do you mean troublesome? We get to take the Chunin exams our first year of being Genin. Do you have any idea how rare that is, Shikamaru? A blonde-haired beauty questioned. Yes, I do. That doesn't make it any less troublesome, Ino. Will there be food? A rather large child asked. Damn it, Choji, there's more to life than just food. Ino yelled. The three Genin's Jonin instructor Asuma just laughed at the three's antics. What's so funny, Asuma? The loudmouthed female of the group asked. You three just remind me of my old team when I was your age. Suddenly Ino jumped out of her seat. That reminds me, I made a promise to Forehead Girl and Hinata to meet for a girls' day out. I should go find them. She left and the boys had a little chuckle at her affectionate nickname for her best friend. You would think she would have dropped the nickname when she and Sakura got over their stupid fight over Sasuke. Choji said between bites of food. About a year ago, Ino and Sakura had run into each other on their way to the academy. Every time this happened, they would race to class with the winner getting the right to sit next to Sasuke. This day happened to be a draw, so after she caught her breath, Sakura turned to Ino intent on arguing about who got to sit next to Sasuke. To Sakura's surprise, Ino wasn't paying attention to her. Her gaze was fixed on a student that Sakura had never seen before. Ino blushed a light pink and stared at the mysterious pale boy as he drew on a sketch pad. Ino? Are we gonna decide who gets to sit next to Sasuke? What about the sauce is gay? Ino? When Ino noticed another girl was about to sit next to the new boy, she ran at top speed and cut her off. She glared at her with an evil eye, silently claiming this newbie for herself. Forehead can have Sasuke. This guy is way cuter. Ino sat down and introduced herself with a blush. Sakura meanwhile, strolled over to Sasuke and claimed the seat next to him. Today is gonna be a good day. Both girls thought. Back in the present, Sakura and Hinata had already met up after their respective team meetings and were walking to the ice cream shop they planned to meet up at. Can you believe it, Hinata? We get to take the Chunin exams already. I can't wait to get out there and show off how kick-ass I am. I don't know if I'm ready for the Chunin exams. Sakura looked at her depressed friend with a look of genuine concern on her face. Hinata. You're a great ninja, you just need confidence. I'm sorry. Don't apologize. This is what I'm talking about. You need to get angry. Get some passion in your life. The reason me and Ino are such badasses is because we give it our all to impress our boys. Sakura. Sasuke and Sai aren't your and Ino's boyfriends, so why do you call them your boys? Hey, they might not be ours right now, but one day we'll convince those two idiots. I bet if you had a crush, you'd get stronger to impress him too. What about those teammates of yours? Kiba's kind of cute, I guess. I don't like Kiba and Shino like that. They have girlfriends anyway. What? Both of them? I can kinda see Kiba with a girl, but Shino? Yes, Kiba is dating an intern at his family's animal shelter and Shino is dating Kiba's girlfriend's sister. Oh, so Kiba hooked his friend up. I guess that makes sense. Well, there has to be a guy we can hook you up with. Hey, forehead girl. Hinata. I'd know that screech of a voice anywhere. The two girls turned around to find Ino running toward them. I'm sorry, I'm late. Asuma took us out to eat in celebration of being chosen to take the Chunin exams. Oh, you too? Me and Hinata had our teams nominated as well. That's awesome. Anyway, what were you two just talking about? The three girls start walking towards their favorite ice cream shop. We were talking about how Hinata needs to get her a man. Sakura. It's true, and you know it. Oh, any interesting names come up? Well, as it turns out, she can't date her teammates since they're already dating some civilian girls. Oh, that's too bad. Hinata's face starts getting noticeably redder the more the two girls openly talk about her lack of a love life. Sheesh, Hinata, have you ever even liked a guy? Ino asked, with a legitimate curiosity. Well, there was one boy a long time ago. Oh, tell us about him. Ino and Sakura said at the same time. I don't know his name, but he was always protecting the kids at the playground I used to go to from bullies. He even saved me from getting beat up once. I always wanted to talk to him, but I was too shy. I never managed to even ask his name and none of the other kids knew it. I followed him once to see where he lived and he went to an orphanage. I think he got adopted because I haven't seen him in years. What did this guy look like? Sakura asked, curious to know more about her friend's only crush. He had spiky blonde hair and birthmarks that looked kinda like whiskers on his face. You mean like that guy up ahead? What? Up ahead of them, entering their favorite ice cream shop, was a group of 4 foreign ninja. The tallest one was a blonde-haired female and most likely the Jonin sensei of the 3 shorter kids. The other 3 were a dark-skinned boy with a lollipop in his mouth, a dark-skinned girl with fiery red hair, and a slightly shorter than the rest blonde-haired boy with whisker-like marks on his face and a bright orange tracksuit. The 4 ninja walked in and the girls who were watching the scene from afar were stunned. They were just talking about Hinata's only crush and here, they find a boy that looks exactly like him. Could it have been him, you think, forehead girl? Why are you asking me, Ino pig? Hinata? Was that him? I think maybe. But those were CL Cloud ninja. Why would a boy from our village be a CL Cloud ninja? You said he was an orphan. Maybe he was adopted by someone who lived in the Lightning Country. Sakura stated in a know-it-all tone. Why don't we find out, girls? With a devilish grin, Ino grabs Sakura and Hinata by the hand and drags them into the ice cream shop. Why did it have to be the Cloud Village? Were Hinata's only thoughts as she was dragged into the shop behind what could possibly be the man of her dreams. After the girls step into the ice cream shop, a man in an Anba mask steps out from the shadows of a nearby alley. The legacy of the 4th has returned and it appears he has an admirer. I must inform Lord Donzo immediately. With his new information, the Anba vanishes in a swirl of leaves. As the 3 girls walked into the ice cream shop, they made their way to a table close enough to hear the Cloud group's conversation, but far enough they could still whisper and be unheard. Ino made sure the table was behind Naruto so that he hopefully would not notice Hinata staring at him. What's up with all these foreigners? I've seen a few more walking around the village today. Are they all here for the Chunin exams? Ino asked, no one in particular. They must be Ino pig. Why else would there be so many ninja from so many different villages in one place? Sakura answered back. While Ino and Sakura whispered about the ninja in the shop, Hinata had her eyes glued to the back of Naruto's head as he talked among his group. Yo big sis, what are you gonna get me as a gift when I pass this exam with flying colors? Said blonde asked the older blonde. If you pass the exam, I might consider giving you back those books of yours I took when you were 10. Ah! I can finally get back my Ika books. Thanks, sis. The three girls each had very different responses to this information. He reads those nasty little porn books, like Kakashi-sensei. I already don't like this guy. What an amateur getting caught with those books. I've had them since I was 8 and my parents still don't know about them. He reads Ika too. Neither of the two groups noticed when a third trio of genin entered the shop. They were all Rain Village genin, wearing wetsuits and breathing apparatuses. That's him, isn't it? The Jinchuriki that Lord Pain wants us to observe. One of the three Rain Village genin whispered to his comrades. Yeah. The Jinchuriki of the 9 and 1 Tails are still young and their skill sets are relatively unknown. Our mission is to observe them and determine their threat level. How do we do that, boss? Lord Pain wants us to fight him if possible. I've got an idea to bait him, follow my lead. The three Rain genin walked over to the girls and their leader leaned on their table with one arm. Well, what do we have here? Who knew such a backwater village like this could have such pretty little ladies? Why don't you three girls come with me and my boys here and show us a good time? The leader said in an egotistical tone. As if freak show, get out of here before I kick that stupid face right off your shoulders. Oh, I like it when little girls get angry. Why don't you try it, Pinky, and see what happens? As Sakura made to punch him, Hinata and Ino grabbed her fist to prevent her from striking. Sakura, if you hit him you could get in trouble and be kicked out of the Chunin exams. Ino is right, Sakura. Please calm down. Sakura calmed down a little, but she started staring daggers at the three ninja in front of them. Oh, where did all that fire go, Pinky? Too much of a coward to fight BA. Lariat. All of a sudden an orange flash collided with the Rain Ninja and sent him flying into the wall. The orange flash was none other than a very angry Naruto. You! I hate people who bully others like you. You have one chance to get the hell out of here before I wipe the floor with you and your two freaky little cronies. Said cronies were scrambling to pick up their fallen comrade. What the hell was that? This idiot just got knocked the fuck out is what happened. Pick his dumbass up and let's get out of here. The two genin picked up their leader and ran out as fast as they could. With those idiots gone, Naruto turned to the three girls with a big grin plastered on his face. Sorry, you three had to see that. It really gets my blood boiling when people act like that. Naruto then held out his hand to the three girls who were still shocked at the display of strength they just saw. They soon snapped out of it and one by one shook his hand and introduced themselves. Thanks for that. My name is Sakura Haruno. I'm a genin for the village. Hi, my name is Ino Yamanaka and I'm the heir to the Yamanaka clan. Hi. My name is Hinata Hyuga. Hinata turned almost tomato red when her hand made contact with Naruto's. She let it stay on his for a while until Naruto broke contact. I'm the hero Naruto Uzumaki. At your service. Hero? Sakura and Ino asked at the same time. Yep. I'm a wicked cool hero who goes around and beats up all the bad guys. Just last month I stomped some evil rich guy who was using rogue ninja to oppress a fishing village in the land of waves. They even named a bridge after me. Naruto, no one wants to hear about your past missions. Karui said as she and the rest of the group walked up. I'll see about having those Rain genin punished. Behavior like that is unacceptable. Yugito said. Oh, this is my team by the way. The blonde one is my big sis Yugito, the angry one is my teammate Karui, and the guy with the candy is Omoi. What you call me punk? Karui, calm down. If you beat up Naruto now he won't be in top shape for the Chunin exams and we'll all die. Bah! I could pass the Chunin exams without you two idiots. As Karui and Omoi bickered, Naruto and Yugito offered to let the three girls join them, to which they all agreed to. After they all sat down, Yugito started talking to the younger girls. So are any of you girls going to take the Chunin exams this year? You bet. All three of us are gonna take it and kick some serious ass. Oh, are you three girls on the same team? No. Good thing, too. I don't know if I could last if I had to spend more than a few hours with Ino Pig. Right back at you, forehead girl. Yugito had a laugh at the two girls' playful banter but noticed Hinata was visibly nervous and not talking to anyone. She was also taking occasional glances at Naruto and blushing ever so slightly. Could that one be attracted to him? No way. A Hyuga of all people must hate the Cloud after the kidnapping attempt. Her forehead is clear too, so she must be a main branch. Her thoughts were interrupted as their ice cream finally arrived. The group continued to have small talk for a while until Yugito said they had to get to their hotel soon and bid the girls farewell. As soon as they were out of earshot, the girls started to talk among themselves. Hinata, do you think that guy was him? Was he the same boy from when you were younger? I think so, Ino. So what do you think? Are you gonna ask him out or what? No. Why not? Father hates the CL Cloud. If he knew about me eating with Sosum, he'd be very angry. Why does he hate the Cloud so much? Ino and Sakura both asked. I don't know. All I remember is that something bad happened when I was 5 with a CL Cloud ninja. I don't remember what happened exactly, but ever since then father forbids me from being near Cloud ninja. Screw that. If you like someone, to hell with what your dad thinks. Hinata sat silent for a while Ino and Sakura just looked at her. Ish should be getting home now. Hinata ran off and left Sakura and Ino in the shop with sad looks on their faces. Meanwhile, Naruto and his team made their way to the hotel. They were walking down an alleyway, Karui and Omoi bickering about some nonsense while Naruto was talking to his big sis. Those three girls were really cute. I think the Hyuga kind of liked me. I noticed that too. She kept blushing at you. Yeah, I could feel really warm chakra coming from her. I like people with warm chakra. Do you think I might be able to be friends with her, sis? I don't know, Naruto. After the kidnapping attempt all those years ago, I'm surprised she doesn't hate you for simply being a Cloud ninja. But we imprisoned the guy responsible for that, didn't we? Yes, but not before he convinced the Hyuga to hand over the body of the man who killed the kidnapper. The idiot thought that he could get the Byakugan that way. They just put a seal on the man to keep his Byakugan from being analyzed. By the time the Raikage returned from his trip to the Chunin exams that year, it was already too late for him to do anything. He was at least able to imprison the mastermind, but the gesture wasn't enough, and we haven't been on good terms with the people of this village since. Well, if the people here don't like us, I'll just have to make them like us. It'll be good practice for when I become Raikage anyway. Hey, don't get ahead of yourself, kid. You still gotta pass the Chunin exams before you even consider becoming our Kage. Bring it on. I'll pass this exam with flying colors and be one step closer to my dream. Yugito was smiling at her little brother's enthusiasm. They soon reached their destination and took up residence in their rooms. The boys were in one room while the girls were in the room next to them. In the boys' room, Omoi was sitting at a table reading the newspaper while Naruto was laying on one of the two beds. Yo Omoi, what do you say we go walking around some more? I don't feel like sitting around in this room all day. Yugito-sensei said to stay here. If we don't listen to her, she'll get mad at us, and then she'll use her crazy fire powers to burn us to a crisp, and we won't be able to take the exam. You worry too much. Sis wouldn't do that. Suddenly Naruto sat up and looked toward the window. What is it, Naruto? Just an old friend. Tell sis not to wait up. And with that, Naruto opened the window and jumped out. Omoi looked out the window to see Naruto talking to a leaf ninja. He was a tanned man with a scar running across his nose. The two talked for a few seconds, then walked off together. Yugito-sensei is gonna be pissed. Naruto and his old friend headed to a small ramen stand called Ichiraka Ramen. It had been a pretty slow day at Ichiraka Ramen until one blonde knucklehead and his older friend walked into the stand. The owner of the stand turned around to greet them as he did all the customers, but stopped himself when he saw that familiar spiky yellow head. "Naruto? Is that you, Naruto? Tucci? I haven't seen you in years. Naruto, I never thought I'd see you again after I heard you became a cloud ninja. I'm in town to take the Chunin exams. I'll be here for a while and I plan on eating my fill of your delicious ramen." "That's good to hear. You and Iruka were my best customers all that time ago." Naruto and Iruka sat down and ordered their ramen. As Tucci prepared it, the two old friends started catching up. "So Iruka, how have things been here in the village? It's not the same without you here pulling pranks all the time. It's really boring. Speaking of pranks, have you pulled any good ones in the Cloud Village?" Well, my big sis is pretty good at catching me before I manage to pull off the big ones." "Big sis?" "Yeah, I was taken in by another one of Killer Bee's students. Her name is Yugito. She's really nice. She's also single." Naruto said that last part with a devilish smirk. Iruka started blushing. "Why'd you bring that up?" "Oh, no reason. How's your love life, Iruka?" "That's none of your business." "Oh, so you're single too? You should go out with my big sis then." Iruka was blushing like mad and tried to hide it by devouring his ramen. Naruto was laughing his head off and Tucci was smiling at the antics of his two favorite customers. After the two finished eating their ramen, Iruka paid their bill and they started to walk together. The village still looks the same as it did all of those years ago. Yeah, not much has changed. You know, the Hokage would really like to see you, Naruto. I figured as much. Tell him I'll go see him later tonight. My big sis wanted to talk to him too. What does she want to discuss with him? She wants to chew him out for letting me be kidnapped by Orochimaru all those years ago. Oh. Silence fell over the two as they walked. I don't blame anybody in the village for that, Iruka. Killer Bee taught me how to let go of my hate a long time ago. That's good to hear. This village is full of good people, Naruto. Just because they fear what they don't understand doesn't make them. Naruto. Both men looked up to see a very angry Yugito staring down at them from the rooftops. Oh crap. Is that who I think it is, Naruto? Yep, that's my big sis. Yugito jumped down and grabbed Naruto by his ear. I told you not to leave the hotel room. Sis, I was just getting ramen with an old friend. I don't care. I'm gonna kick your ass, you insubordinate little idiot. Iruka cleared his throat to try to get Yugito's attention. Sadly for him, it worked. Who the hell do you think you are, taking my little brother off to God knows where? My name is Iruka. I was a very good friend of Naruto's before he left the village. I was just taking him out for some ramen. I'm sorry for not asking your permission first, ma'am. I promise it won't happen again. Yugito started to calm down a little after hearing Iruka talk. It better not. For your sake as much as his. She lets go of Naruto's ear. Ow! My poor ear. Naruto said, getting a few tears in his eyes from the stinging pain. I apologize for worrying you, miss. Naruto started to compose himself and decided to introduce the two. Sis, this is the man I told you about. He was one of the few people in the village who was nice to me when I was a kid. Iruka, this is my big sis Yugito. It's a pleasure to meet you. Iruka said as he offered his hand. Likewise. Yugito took his hand and shook it. Big sis, Iruka is single too, so you and him should go out sometime. Both adults blushed like crazy. Naruto. They both yelled. What? Weren't you complaining about how you can't get laid, not long before we came here? Ah! The things I talk about with my friends in the privacy of my house aren't things you should be listening to, or repeating, you little brat. I can't help it if you and your friends get loud when you drink. Yugito was blushing at a level that would rival Hinata. Iruka decided to take this opportunity to speak up. Miss Yugito? Yes? If you don't mind, I would like to spend some time talking to you. Not as a date exactly, but I'd like to know more about the person who is taking care of my little friend. What say you and I meet up in the morning and go to me and Naruto's favorite ramen stand? Make it an ice cream shop and you have a deal. Ice cream it is then. I'll see you in the morning. I have to go see the Hokage now. Naruto informed me that you and him plan on seeing him tonight and I should let him know. Iruka jumped away on the rooftops, leaving Naruto and Yugito alone. You got a date, sis. Good for you. Naruto exclaimed with a big grin. It's not a date, brat. You aren't off the hook either. You're getting some serious punishment later. Yugito grabbed Naruto by the ear and started dragging him toward their hotel. Here it is, sis. The Hokage's room is at the very top. Naruto explained to his sister as they arrived at the Hokage's tower right as the sun began descending into the horizon. They walked in and were welcomed by a lady sitting at the front desk. She was expecting them and told them that the Hokage was waiting in his office. As they made their way to the top, Yugito took the opportunity to talk to Naruto about what she wanted to do. Naruto, I'll go in first so I can tell this old bastard what I think about him. You wait outside, and when I'm done, I'll let you in. He may ask to talk to you alone. I'll let you decide if you want me to leave the room or not. Yeah, I expected that. Naruto most certainly did not want to be in the same room with his sister while she was telling off the Hokage. Naruto had seen Yugito truly enraged only once in his life when he was caught peeping on some girls in a hot spring. He never wanted to relive that experience again. They finally arrived at the Hokage's office and Yugito knocked on the door. Come in, said an elderly voice from the other side. Yugito opened the door and walked in. Naruto sat on a couch just outside the door and waited for Yugito to come get him. He knew that if the Hokage didn't activate a privacy seal, then Yugito would, so trying to eavesdrop would be pointless. He sat for a good 5 minutes until the door finally opened and Yugito walked out. Okay, Naruto. You can come in now. Naruto got off of the couch and walked into the room only to be stunned at what he saw inside. The Hokage was sitting in a comfy chair and laying in front of him was a mass of splintered wood and broken table limbs. Sis, did you? I got a little excited. Don't worry about the table. I know a ninja who is exceptionally skilled at making wooden furniture. The old man said without a hint of fear or anger in his voice. Naruto was shocked at the Hokage's calm demeanor but quickly composed himself. It's good to see you again, old man. How have things been in the village without me? The Hokage cracked a small smile. Things have been quiet without you, to say the least. I no longer have Iruka coming into my office every week complaining about you pulling some crazy prank. Teehee, those were good times. For the most part anyway. Naruto. If it's okay with you and your guardian, I would like to speak with you in private. Yeah, I thought so. Naruto turned to his sister and told her to wait outside. She paused for a brief second to ruffle his hair before leaving the room. You found someone very special to look after you, Naruto. I am very happy for you. The old man said with a smile. Yeah. I don't know what I would do without Big Sis. She's the best, even if she is a little overprotective. Naruto looked down at the splintered mass of wood in between him and the Hokage, but the old man merely laughed. In truth, when she came in here with such anger, I was beyond happy. It reminded me a bit of how Iruka used to storm in here whenever you got in trouble for something. Ugh. So you noticed it too, huh? I was planning on hooking those two up while we're here. Most guys back home are giant wusses who get intimidated by sis real easily. Oh, my lips are sealed. Don't tell Iruka I said this, but that man desperately needs to be intimate with someone. I've been kind of worried about him lately. He's been helping get the exams ready on top of his usual workload as an instructor. He's been very stressed out, though he is an expert at hiding it. Don't worry about it. I've already set them up for a date tomorrow. If all goes well then. Well, you know. Excellent. I hope those two hit it off. How is your training going? Well, that's part of the reason I agreed to come talk to you. I hit a wall with my training and I need your help to get over it. Let me guess. You need the key to the seal. You already knew. I am well aware of the process you must go through to become a true Jinchuriki like Master Bee. I helped the Jinchuriki before you achieve that level. You mean my mom? The third dropped his pipe in shock. How did you know? Oh boy, do I have a story to tell you. Naruto began recounting the events of a training exercise that Bee and Yugito made him go through a few years after he came to the Cloud Village. How is this supposed to help me control Kurama's chakra? Naruto asked as he watched Bee meditating in his personal training grounds. It's important for a Jinchuriki to always be in control of their emotions. The best ways to do that are either meditation or grabbing the lotion. Bee! Yugito yelled at him from beside Naruto. I don't get it, sis. What about lotion can help you get your emotions in control? You don't need to worry about that right now, Naruto. Bee, don't tell him stuff like that. I'm only telling him the truth. Eventually he'll learn lotion's true use. A few minutes later, as Bee laid a few feet away unconscious, Yugito began instructing Naruto on the art of meditation. It sounds boring. Can you teach me how to turn into a giant like you can, sis? You're a couple of years too early to even be thinking about that technique, kiddo. If you ever want to use all of the cool Jinchuriki abilities that I know, then the first step is mastering this. Naruto pouted, but he listened to his sister and sat down with his legs crossed. Take deep breaths and try to empty your mind. It may take a while, but... Naruto. Something was strange. She expected Naruto to have a lot more trouble than this with meditation. She poked his shoulder but received no response. She knew he wasn't asleep because he had a habit of snoring, so he must have been drawn inside of his own mindscape somehow. Is it Kurama? No, it can't be. Kurama and Naruto can communicate without Naruto needing to be drawn into his mind. Then what is it? What are you doing here, Naruto? I'm trying to get some sleep. I thought you called me. Sis was teaching me how to meditate when I just sort of got sucked in here. That doesn't make any sense. If I didn't call you here then. I thought I sensed something strange about the seal. I should have expected something like this from you. Kushina. Kushina. Naruto repeated as he felt a warm hand on his shoulder. He turned around and came face to face with a beautiful red-haired woman in a green dress. You would know her as... Mother. Kurama explained as he turned his back to the loving scene unfolding outside his cage. My baby. Kushina whispered as she hugged Naruto gently. Naruto returned the embrace with tears in his eyes. I don't understand. How? I poured some of my spirit into your seal so that I could meet you. I intended it as a failsafe in case Kurama went mad again, but it seems that he's returned to his original state of mind. How could you speak about it so plainly? What I did to you was unforgivable. What are you talking about, mommy? Naruto. It all started the night you were born. That was the night that the masked man appeared. Masked man? The third asked back in the present day. I never knew about any masked man. I was under the impression that your mother's seal broke under the stress of childbirth. I know. Apparently this guy showed up right after I was born and used me as a hostage. My dad fought him off, but he managed to release Kurama and hypnotize him with a genjutsu. That's why he attacked the village. I had my suspicions of the attack, but this is troubling. What kind of genjutsu was it? It would need to be one of incredible power to hypnotize a tailed beast. Naruto. Sharingan. It was a Sharingan that hypnotized Kurama. I see. Please go on with your story. Okay, after she explained everything about the night that I was born, I was really mad about a couple of things. You killed my parents. Naruto stared at Kurama's back, speechless. Baby, you shouldn't blame him for that. He wasn't himself. Stop, just. Stop. Stop making excuses for me. It wasn't the genjutsu. I was freed from the genjutsu during my fight with Minato and Gamabunta. When I killed you two, I knew what I was doing. I finally had a chance at freedom after all the years of imprisonment. I could go home to my valley and how could you forgive me? As I ripped my claw free from your flesh, you looked straight into my eyes and forgave me. How? Kurama's chakra started swirling around him violently. Naruto could barely keep his footing as the waves of energy washed over him, but Kushina stood in front of him and blocked Kurama's raging chakra with her own. You goddamn drama queen. Kushina roared as countless golden chains erupted from her back. They flew toward Kurama and tied him up. As they pinned him to the ground, some of them formed up and took the shape of a giant paddle. No! Kurama screamed in fear as he realized what was happening. The golden paddle descended on Kurama's rear end no differently than it would have a misbehaving child. You gonna cry about it? You gonna cry, baby fox? Kushina raised the golden paddle extra high for the final smack. The sound of the paddle making contact with Kurama was so deafening that Naruto had to cover his ears. Did that really happen, or are you exaggerating? The third Hokage asked, unsurprisingly suspect of the story at this point. If I'm lying, I'm dying. I was just as surprised as you are. So what happened after your mother disciplined Kurama? She convinced me and Kurama to put our past behind us and focus on becoming strong enough to fight the masked man when he comes for us. I still had one thing I needed to ask her before she left though. So my dad was really the fourth Hokage? Yes. His name was Minato Namikaze and he was a wonderful man. You look so much like him. I bet the girls will be all over you when you get older. Did the third Hokage know I was his son? Naruto. The third bowed his head, expecting Naruto to yell at him for lying to him in his youth. He was surprised when no such outburst came. She explained it all to me. I understand why you never told me and I forgive you for it. Dad had his enemies, and if they knew about me. I mean, the Stone Village calls him the Yellow Devil, for crying out loud. I never would have been safe if they caught wind of me. Anyway, me and Mom had a heart-to-heart right before her chakra ran out and her spirit faded. She told me a lot, like how to make chakra chains like she can. It's really not that hard if you have the right kind of chakra like we do. The Hokage sat back in his chair and took a nice long hit of his pipe, taking in all of this new information. I'm glad that you understand the situation I was in. It pained me every time I had to lie to you about your parents. Now about the key, I'm sorry to say that I do not have it. The key was inscribed on the belly of one of your father's toad summons and given to his master Jiraiya. You mean my worthless bum of a godfather? Mom told me about him too. I can forgive for lying to me, but what he did was unacceptable. He left me to fend for myself in a world that hated me. I don't want to see that man if I can help it. I understand your anger, Naruto, but if you wish to be a true Jinchuriki, you must find him and convince him to unseal the fox's full power. Until then you can only use as much chakra as the fox can safely pump through the seal without breaking it. Naruto sighed, defeated. Where is that old bum anyway? He's off searching for Orochimaru. Orochimaru. There's something you should know about Orochimaru. If it's about his immortality jutsu, I already know. So the old pervert figured that much out? Orochimaru was planning on jumping into my body, but Kurama put an end to that pretty quickly. We have reason to believe the next target for his jutsu is a boy in this village named Sasuke Uchiha. We suspect Orochimaru wants him for his eyes. That's not all he wants. Orochimaru loves rare bloodlines and goes out of his way to keep dying ones around. I saw a ton of people from dying clans when I was there. A crystal style user, a bone style user, and even a couple more Uzumaki. He made it perfectly clear to all of them that he was expecting them to breed for him eventually. More Uzumaki? How many? 3. 2 of them were just as screwed up in the head as Orochimaru was. The other one wasn't like that. She was good to me and wanted to escape together. Orochimaru sent her away from me when he found out though. I'm sorry to hear that. Do you want me to inform Jiraiya to keep an eye out for her? Yeah. Her name was Karen and she's pretty easy to spot. She's got the Uzumaki's red hair and wears glasses. She focuses more on science and stuff, so her ninja training isn't that intense. She's pretty skinny. I'll do everything I can to find her. Thank you for bringing this information to me, Naruto. Don't mention it, old man. Just promise to get that bastard for me. I promise, Naruto. I will not allow this monster to roam free any longer. You know, for a second there you actually sounded intimidating. Naruto said with a big foxy grin. I was once known as the god of shinobi. You'd do well to remember that, boy. Even in my old age I could decimate you with my little pinky. I don't doubt it. The Raikage once beat me up with his big toe. The third imagined what that must have looked like and started to crack up laughing. Naruto soon joined in. Ha ha ha. Naruto, if you ever feel the need to return to your homeland, we will welcome you with open arms. Yeah, I know. I'm not leaving my big sis though, so don't count on that happening. I assumed you were gonna say that. I had to ask, because of my advisors though. I bet those old fogies are gonna yell at you for not trying to bribe me with money and women or some other nonsense. Most likely. You're just like your father, so doing that would be pointless. He was not one to accept bribes. I remember he once tossed a man off the roof for attempting to bribe him. Really? He didn't kill him, did he? No, I was there to catch him. Your father did it as a way to send a message to anyone who thought his integrity was questionable. I'll have to remember that when I become the Raikage someday. Oh, you wish to become the Raikage? I remember the days you used to spend running around the village claiming to be the Hokage when you grew up. If it was up to me, I'd be the Kage of all 5 villages. If I could do that, then I could stop everyone from fighting and make the world a much more peaceful place. Ha ha ha. You never cease to amaze me, Naruto. If anyone can unite the 5 villages, I believe it would be you. That reminds me. A few years ago, one of my sons started his own family. My grandson reminds me a lot of you. He claims that he will be the Hokage one day and runs around the village pulling pranks like you did. I would like you to meet him. He should be arriving any second. Old man. A small child dove through the door holding a shuriken in his hand. I'm gonna defeat you and become the 5th Hokage. The small child ran forward only to trip and fall flat on his face. That hurt. The Hokage face palmed and Naruto was holding back a huge laugh. Konohamaru. It's not a sneak attack if I told you to come here at this time. Ha 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 ha. Naruto couldn't hold back his laughter any longer. Who is this blonde jerk who dares to laugh at the next Hokage? Who am I? I'm Naruto Uzumaki and I'm going to be the Raikage one day. The Raikage? That makes you my rival. I challenge you to a duel. Aren't you a little young to be challenging awesome ninja like me to a duel? The only awesome ninja here is me. You're just a big blonde idiot with a stupid face. What did you just say to me, punk? You heard me, shorty. I'm taller than you, shrimp. I'm just a little boy. What's your excuse? Enough! The third Hokage finally yelled out. Both boys were shocked and started bowing down, apologizing to the Hokage. You two are so alike in many ways. I would go as far as to say you two deserve each other. The reason I called you two here is that in the time Naruto is here in the village, I wouldn't mind the two of you spending some time together. I believe you two could learn a lot from each other. Konohamaru, if you do intend to be the Hokage one day, you need to learn how to make friendships with foreigners. The same goes for you in your quest to be the Raikage Naruto. I believe it could be a mutually beneficial friendship. Both boys looked at each other and shook hands. If that's what you want, Grandpa, I guess I can spend some time with this guy. You were right when you said this kid was like me. I wouldn't mind pulling a prank or two with him. You like to pull pranks, too? Of course. Didn't you hear stories about me? I'm the guy who painted the Hokage monument with graffiti. That was you. You're my prankster idol. What have I done? Sarutobi said aloud as the two pranksters walked out of his office. Naruto introduced Konohamaru to Yugito, and after making plans to meet each other after his morning training session, the two parted ways and Naruto and his sister made their way back toward the hotel. Later, at the hidden base of the Root Foundation, the same Anbu who watched Naruto and his team walk into the ice cream shop with Hinata and friends following close behind was giving his report to his boss. The boss was an older man with bandages covering large portions of his body. I thank you for bringing me this information. You may go now. The Anbu disappeared from sight, instantly leaving Danzo to ponder this new information by himself. So not only has the fort's legacy returned, but there exists in this village a girl with interest in him. I could use this to my advantage, but I must be careful. The girl is the very same Hyuga that was almost kidnapped by the Cloud all those years ago. I must find a way to push the two together without the rest of her clan getting in the way. I must also find a way to distance the boy from the Cloud village. I wonder if he knows about what the Cloud tried to do to his mother. Danzo was snapped out of his thoughts when yet another of his Anbu subordinates appeared. Sir, we have found the resting place of the Three Tails like you requested. He is hibernating in a lake 1 week's journey from the village. Excellent. Mobilize the sealing team. I want that demon in our hands as soon as possible. Also bring me the files I requested on possible Jinchuriki candidates. Yes, sir. Danzo was once again left alone with his thoughts. Yet another demon shows itself to me. If I play my cards right, we could have two of the tailed beasts under the control of the leaf. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you enjoyed this what if and want to see next part of it, comment down below and let me know. Also share this video with your friends. See you in the next video. Peace.